Hey, what's up, card fighters? So I'm here back with another commentary match video. This time we decided to queue up with KHEIOS at locals since I did do a community poll and seeing like I chose like three decks like KHEIOS, Baphometes. I've been testing that deck on and off. Baphometes is like really janky. Like it's like borderline unplayable in my opinion, at least in this current format. And Graham Grace. Graham Grace won by like at first it won by a landslide, and then it was just kind of like basically like if like Baphometes wasn't there, it'd just be a 50-50 between KHEIOS and Graham Grace. So I queued up with KHEIOS, and I did slightly change the list from what I do have in this because I was just going off of what I was doing with KHEIOS and just integrated the new cards, but there's actually like a lot of flex spots in KHEIOS that you could just basically do whatever you want. I have the deck right here in front of me. No, it's not that deck. Okay, yeah, that's what I did. That's what I did. Okay. So I did take out so in this list I am still running Quen Lu as like a quote unquote win condition, but with how aggressive the deck is and how hard it hits, it just like it kinda doesn't need it anymore. But everything else about the list is just basically the same. I do believe I win the die roll here, so I do get to go first. This is the KHEIOS plays a lot like Barrow Magnus, but I would argue that KHEIOS is just better than Barrow Magnus right now, at least in this meta, because like I can play cards in the early game, and I feel like I could just build a better hand. Slash like what KHEIOS is doing now is just more powerful than what Barrow Magnus is doing, at least in my opinion. Also, it has defensive cards now. Like just because like your combo of getting like 13 to 8 cards in Soul is so consistent, you're actually allowed to play tech cards now. Ooh, draw the OT. Go ahead, pitch the PG here. I did feel comfortable pitching the PG because we drew the overtrigger. We do get one name off the ride line, a really good one too, the grade 1 Mechani. It's just really good in this deck because each grade 1 Mechani you have in Soul counts as a different card name for your Soul counts. And what we're doing here, it may seem a little bit unorthodox, but we are playing the swirlers down early because generally I do like to rush with this deck. This deck is a rush deck and it prefers to play down early. And if they do get attacked or sniped, well, if they get attacked, which most people are like, oh, swirlers, I'm gonna attack into those. That's part of the reason why I do commit them early, because it's like attack bait, so that just like saves me damage in the future. I do decide to put the trigger into the soul here just to get different names. And I believe I have 8 different names, so I'm able to superior call the grade 1 Makani and give it 10k. What would have been really nice off this combo is, which I didn't know was possible, was that if I have a grade 3 Makani and Soul, I could call it out on turn 2 and be able to restand it with the 10k buff from the order. So we're just going to swing 8. So we have like 8, 10, and then 26. Really good numbers. Oh yes, I also don't play draw triggers anymore. Like the same theory with Barrow Magnus was that like draws just never really did anything for me. Like they were nice-ish to see, but more often than not, I would just like hard draw into them, and those aren't shield cards. Like it's a 10k shield, but like it's not a 30k or 15k shield at the end of the day. So I did switch out the draws into fronts. I'm gonna post a deck profile up soon, guys. Just wanted to get these match videos out first. He does get only two. No, no, he gets the three. He gets the three names off his hero search. So he does add the grade 1 hero to hand and puts the grade 1 and grade 2 to soul. He's gonna use his Vanguard's ability to scout and draw a card. Now, something interesting here is he chooses to call down the grade 2 hero that can retire things in the same column, and he chooses not to activate her ability. He's choosing just to use her as like a beater, which I don't know if he forgot or not. This player is a really nice guy that just recently got back into Vanguard. Like he used to play it as a kid, so he's still like fairly fresh to at least D standard. I do believe he is building Chrono Jet when it comes out because that was his favorite deck when he was playing. But I do believe this is the only deck he has on him right now. So we're gonna pitch the draw to ride into Chaos. We're gonna do the ride line. Soul Charger normal unit, so we're gonna be able to call out something from Soul. I do believe I call out that grade 2. I don't think I have anything else that's really or did I choose not to call at all? No, no, no. You have to call something. Like, you're not gonna not call something. I believe I call out the grade 1 Makani. It just makes the most sense to me. So we do have quite a few options here. We have the Quenlu as an option, which is actually really good since he is on grade 2. Could turn a 13 into a 15 with the guard restrict. But I do believe I just go for the safer play, which is the grade 1 Makani. I'm going to put it behind the Vanguard. Thought about putting the grade 2 behind the Vanguard because at grade 2, if you have 8 different names, it becomes a booster. But the Makani just made more sense at the time. Plus, I don't have, right now, I don't have any of the grade 3 Makani in Soul. So, I'm just more or less trying to, like, RNG into it right now. I discarded another PG because I felt safe with, like, the PG and the OT I did have in hand. I added a PG into my hand, and yeah, we're gonna put a trigger to Soul and then call a trigger, which kind of feels bad, but it is what it is sometimes. And I do believe I have 8. Yeah, I should have 8 by this point in time. I don't have 13. You have to do like amazing wombo combo to have the 13. But we're gonna hard call from hand. We do have the extra name, so this is actually really cool thing about the KHEIOS deck is that you have access to board removal because your deck is so consistent that like, oh, I could use any extra names that I have in my soul and just snipe, or like I already have 13, so I could use this one of card to go into soul and just snipe. So I'm swinging for 18 here because it's going to restand and I'm going to give it the plus 10. So I swing 21 for the Vanguard, restand him, and I'm going to give him the plus 10. So the other column is 16, 26, and that's 23. These are decent numbers for my opponent's on 2. We do get another grade 3 Makani. He damaged 2 PGs, which is just like really crucial, at least in this first match. He guards with the 15, and then he takes the last attack. And then grade 3 Makani goes into Soul. That's actually like the best part of this deck because the grade 1 Makani can get the grade 3 Makani from Soul. It's kind of like Pale Moon in a sense, to whereas like your units can't be popped because like they just tuck into, or at least your key unit can't be popped because it tucks itself into Soul at the end of turn. Does he get the 3 here, or does he get 2? I do believe he gets the 3 if I'm not mistaken. No, he has the 2. So he's going to put the grade 2 into the base, and then he's going to add Persona Red to hand. Again, he's choosing not to retire, but in this juncture it makes sense because it's just like it's a 5k booster, so it really doesn't make sense. I guess you could because you have the resources to expend, but it didn't really make sense this juncture. He's swinging here. I do believe I do an OT to pass. Yeah, which he does heal though. He does heal, which is actually crucial. And especially since that's the restanding heal tree, that's very crucial in this juncture of the game. It's going to give the power to the back row because it's going to go into the front now. So that's a 30k column if I'm correct. Yeah, and this is 20 at my Vanguard. I decide to take that one, and then this is 30. I have to PG this. So basically the way this deck plays is like, this is like the turn we have to try and kill him on. And I'm not even joking. This is actually like the turn that we have to try and kill him on because we have no defensive resources in our hand. We basically expend most of it for combo. We are able to save some key pieces to guard, but yeah, this is like basically the turn that we just like have to like nut it or bust it. And it's funny because he just started eating his sub like halfway during the game. We're gonna give it the 5k to the swirler. I do believe I do some wonky things here to get the 13 in soul. So yeah, I'm gonna put the grade 1 Makani in front of the swirler into soul, and I'm gonna call over the grade 0, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so I'll call over the grade 0. And then, do I hard call the Makani from hand, or do I use it as pitch fodder? I do believe I have to hard call the Makani from hand because I don't have another one in soul. So, I have a 15 in hand as well. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I do believe I have like 10 or 11 different names right now. We're gonna shove it in. Yeah, we're gonna shove it into soul. And just to get, we're shoving it into soul just to get the name, because it's choose up to 1. Yeah. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, that's exactly the amount we needed. So we're gonna swing 23 at his Vanguard. He has a decent hand, like, for being at 3 damage. And he also has the base. That's a key thing to remember, that he does have the base, so he's able to guard 2 times from the base, and I believe he has like 115 in the base. But he's still able to get a 5k shield at the base, so that actually matters. So he actually uses the restanding heal here to block, which I'm not sure why. He knows that they're gonna restand, but maybe his takeaway was that these columns are gonna be so big that I just really need to block one and then take the other one. So this is, he takes it. What was the last cards in his hand? I feel like he could have, maybe if he did like a double, so I think maybe he could have survived. I don't know what those last two, one of those cards was Persona Ride, but I think maybe he could have survived if he, yeah, because on fifth damage he got a defensive. So I think he maybe could have survived if he double intercepted and then based, because that would have been 28 to my 23, and then he would have had that, so that would have put him at 38, and then 48 with the trigger. But that swirler column was 13, 26, 46, 56. Nah, he was 10k short. I don't know if the last card in his hand was a 10k or not. I know one of them was Persona Ride, but he was 10k short regardless, even with the defensive. So of course he's gonna go first in this second match. Seeing like how aggressively we can push. He's gonna pitch, grab his base, which I should actually tell him about the. I don't know if he knows. No, he does know because he was a part of the sneak peek, or maybe that was set 7 sneak peek. But there's actually this really cool grade 3 that you can play in Heroes, that you don't have to play the penguin anymore, because here he goes, starts eating his sandwich. You don't have to play the penguin anymore because the grade 3, when you place it, if you have I believe 2 copies of the order, it gets you another copy of the order or something like that, and it's like a 23k beater or a copy of the order. And we're rushing here again with the swirlers. Like, this is a rush deck. If they get attacked, it really doesn't matter. Oh, and we get the OT here. So that's 10k and a crit to Vanguard, and then 100 million to the swirler. He gets his defensively, which is like really crucial. And then this defensive stops the swirler attack. So I pass turn. So the OTs are out. This is a man's game now. The OTs are out of deck. He's gonna activate base here. I believe in the second game where he starts whiffing on his bases. Oh shit. Hey, it doesn't work like that, buddy. You can only choose 3. So obviously Persona Red's gonna go to hand, and then those 2 are gonna go to the base. And he's actually gonna get to Persona Red in this game. Again, he's not choosing to retire with the grade 2 skill. I don't I don't know if he forgot it or not, or he's just like actively not doing it because he doesn't feel like he needs to. Go ahead and discard the grade 1, get another of the grade 2 out. I would have at least retired 1 if I was in his position, but that's just me. He's swinging again with the Vanguard. I do believe we know past this because the OT's out of deck. So that's 25 with a crit. We take it. Didn't want to, but had to ditch Persona right here. Just had to like try and keep some shield in hand. Because we are at 3 and we're actually like there's a very possible chance that we die. Because like our hand is really not sexy and he's gonna push out like 4 attacks. And I believe that that's 2 Makanis in hand. So we're gonna swing 28 with a crit at the Vanguard. And he didn't realize that the OT's effect lasts until the end of the game. And he was like, "Oh, that's stupid." I'm like, "Yeah, OTs are stupid." I actually took a Sharpie on my inner sleeves and I wrote ban the OT. You guys are gonna see that in future videos. Kind of like, you know, little spiteful, poking fun, you know, because Bushiroad doesn't want to even address the problem at all. So did I give power and crit there? Yeah, I gave power and crit there, and I decided to swing at a rear guard, and then swing at the Vanguard again. I figured he didn't have another 15 in hand, so he would probably just take it, because his base was rested, so he couldn't guard from the base this turn. So that was really good for me, but that 15 is the only card I have to guard with in hand, besides my 1 intercept, so I have like a total of like 20k shield. So like literally, he has like a very large propensity of beating me this turn. And I believe this is the one where he only gets 1 off his top 7 search. And what game was I thinking of that like he didn't get it? I don't know. But he gets the 3. The 2 is probably gonna go to hand. The girl grade 2 that gets 5k if you have a base. Yeah, he's gonna add that to hand, and those other 2 are gonna go to the base. He's gonna call her. He's gonna choose not to retire again. I'm just assuming at this point that he forgot about that effect. Swing for 20, which is like really like sucks. So we're gonna use our only 15, guard for 25. He didn't. I don't guard here. He doesn't get a crit, which luckily because he didn't get a crit, I'm able to survive. But if he like went for the 4 attack combo, I would have lost. Like that 3rd card was just another Makani, and I would have just wholeheartedly lost right here. What do I decide to call out? I believe I decide. Can't really see what's in my soul that well. I'm hovering over Quenlu and thinking about what I have in soul currently. Yeah, I feel like I would just call Swirler here to soul charge. Potentially get a different name. Yeah, and that's what I do. I call Swirler here, soul charge. I do get a different name, and that makes the other Swirler I soul charged earlier not dead, so it becomes part of my different name count. Yeah, we don't even go for my Vanguard's ability. I don't think I have the... Yeah, I don't think I have it either. But we're just gonna, like, go for... We're literally just going for it here. This is just a 5k shield. Which kind of sucks that these first attack... Yeah, so I think he just intercepts on both of them. That these first attacks are just 5k shield. But afterwards, I have, like, these really 3 big swings. Because my Vanguard's 31 with a critical. Which, again, I have to go, like, all Hail Mary on this. Because we don't really have any other... We, like, the way our hand was compositioned, we didn't really have any other options. And we do get a heal trigger here, which is, like, very clutch. We're gonna give the power to the other column. And then we're gonna swing for 2141. And she guards with 215s, and then the same number again. He elects to take this one. And then both the Makanis go to Soul, and we pray. Which I do believe we lose this game, especially since he Persona Road. I don't think a Miracle Heal is getting us out of this. Yeah, I'm just counting my heals here and be like, what are my odds of surviving this? And I'm like, basically 0. So he's gonna go ahead, get his 3 names. Just thinking about what to add. I think you add the... Yeah, you just add the grade 1 to hand here. And put the other 2 into base, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe he'll grab something else. Because I feel like, yeah, he's gonna have to call from base regardless, so I think he's just grabbing that for the shield. Or maybe is that another grade 1? Does he already have it in hand? He's gonna rest a base to call the grade 1 that lets him swap columns to have his extra attack. And he's gonna call Wired as an extra attacker. So that Wired's gonna be like 30k by itself. So he's 28. We take that. We get that's a heal, but we can't heal because he's at 5. So I think we take the Vanguard swing here too, even though it has a crit. Yeah, there was just like, with 1 card in hand to guard with, there was like no way we survived that turn. The more and more I play KHEIOS, the thing that I do realize with the deck is that the weakest point of the deck it depends on the board state a lot, but if you aren't able to Persona Ride, the deck does want to Persona Ride. I believe that's why I threw Chalice in like a later iteration of the deck. It's just like it's an extra copy of Persona Ride, and like if I Soul Charge it, it's just a different name. But the deck does want to Persona Ride, because if you don't Persona Ride, then your initial Makani columns are going to be 13, 13, and then you'll hit your good numbers, but those are just 5k shields, which just is very appetizing to your opponent, versus if you Persona Road, at least now they're 15s. In this deck, I generally always throw the Perfect Guard back into hand, because we're just going to end up pitching it, because this is like a very like aggressive combo deck. You know, it's like Barrow Magnus. It's like Barrow Magnus, but you can play your cards like basically a turn earlier. And I would almost say like that KHEIOS has like a little bit more utility than Barrow Magnus right now. I believe we pitched the Quenlu here. Yeah, we just have to pitch the Quenlu. That's another thing that I was realizing with the Quenlu, is because I didn't get a lot of opportunities to utilize her. More often than not, she just became pitch fodder. He was doing the top 5 search, he whiffed, and now he's still looking for his base. the over trigger on defensive. So it's OT to pass, which he doesn't get. Decided to pitch to grade 2 here. That's actually very good. We got 2 Makanis, a grade 3 Makani and a grade 1 Makani off of that soul charge. That was very clutch. And then we got another grade 1 Makani. So this hand's looking really stacked. I think I just elected not to call anything out and just save all my combo pieces for my turn 3 to pop off fully. This is his first base search. And this is where he starts breaking, to whereas he was only getting 1 off of his base searches. I got a little bit ahead of myself, I apologize. So he's obviously adding it to hand. And then he's going to put the 15k shield guy into the base and soul charge 1. It's only gets 5k when it boosts, but he's obviously going to call something when over it. Not over it, but in front of it. Swings for 15, I take that happily. Swings for 10, I guard that, hoping he doesn't get the over trigger. We get a draw trigger, which was nice. This is like an additional card. Right, we're pitching him again. I'm guessing we opened up with too many of them, and we get a draw because we soul charged a trigger off the ride line. Looks like I have 6 different names currently. Do I have a swirler in hand? I believe I do. Yeah, I have swirler. That's the first card I play. Get another Makani. That's really nice. Let me soul charge again. Swirler gets +5. We're going to activate the order, look at the top 5. I do believe this gets me to the 13, so I do choose to soul charge a trigger off of this. Because I had 3 different KHEIOS names, so I'm able to get 3 cards. And then I'm able to pull out a Makani here and give the Makani +10. What are you doing? Was that the better play? I think I should have called the Makani from hand first before activating the order, and I was realizing that earlier, so I have to make like a slightly less optimal play. I'm gonna call another grade 1 Makani. We're gonna soul charge. That doesn't add to our soul count. Now we're going to use our Vanguard's ability. Well, first we're going to use, yeah, I feel like I could have sequenced that turn, like, a little bit better. We're ditching Persona Rad here. And then we get Persona Rad again, never punished. So we're going to put the grade 2 to soul. I believe Persona Rad goes to hand, and then we call that. But we're just going to call over it. Yeah, we should have just hard called that Makani from hand. That was a misplay on my part. So we're going to still go ahead and swing for 13 here. And that's just a 5k shield very easily. We're actually going... No, I don't have the... We're going for 31 here. So I don't have the... What's it called? I don't have the cards in soul, I guess. So swinging big with the Vanguard and giving 10k there. I think I was trying really hard to get there, but at the end I just couldn't get there. So that column is 21, 41, and that column is 23. if I'm not mistaken. And he PG's the Vanguard. So I'm going to give power there, and then I'm going to give critical there. And then the second check is a PG. So I think our hand's like really solidly defensive. And then this is 41, but now this is like 215s to guard, so he's not going to take this. Yeah. So that's the end of my turn, which sadly, like, we couldn't do as much as like I thought we could, which again, I feel like that was just sequencing on my part. This is like literally the first, my first locals, my first locals of the deck. So, don't be too mean to me in the comments, guys. But, yeah, he's like, he rides up. He has the grade 1. We know he has the grade 1. He chooses not to call it, which is interesting. Oh, he's stuck on one base. He doesn't have another base. And I do believe I started early guarding here because time was called. So maybe it was the pressure of time. He forgot to call it. But I happily just block all of his attacks. We're going to push the grade 1 Makani and Soul. And then call out the grade 3. Push up the Swirler. I believe we just call out the rest of our hand. Or maybe we don't. Okay, we're going to give 5k in the ability. It looks like we have it, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we have it. We have it. I just chose to give Makani the guard restrict. So this is 25, and he can only guard with zeros. Or blitz orders, of course. But he can only guard with zeros because of Quinn Liu. So he takes it, goes to 5. Or no, goes to 4. So we're swinging 21, 31, 41. He perfect guards it. We do get a critical, so we're going to give all effects to the Makani. And he is going to be swinging 45 only grade zeros. Which I don't think he was able to guard it. His hand did, yeah, his hand was like 1 card by the end of it. So I guess in the end, the Quinn Liu did clutch us that game. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, guys. I am going to be bringing you more KHEIOS matches in the future. I have like this really cool KHEIOS versus Youthberg match where like some really cool combos happen. Well, like at least in game 2. But yeah, later.